Well, that music means we are ready to dine with our food and wine columnist, Shiva Reddy. And today we are talking about the fig season. Yeah, Shiva's here to look at how figs have become the treasure of the West Coast this time of year. Shiva, hello there.
Hi, Gloria.
So what is it that makes the fig season so special here?
You know, I feel like yesterday was a great example of it. I was walking from Nanaimo to Commercial, and I counted maybe about 12 to 15 fig trees, and they all had little jewels of figs all over. So it feels like it's everywhere and everybody's a part of them. Now, what's interesting is that we don't really know when figs came to Vancouver. It could have possibly been when there was a first wave of immigrants of Italians, Greeks, and Portuguese. Maybe it was from the gold rush or from California. But I think Chef Claire Lassam, who owns Livia Bakery on Commercial Drive, actually describes the feeling of being a part of something bigger when it comes to figs.
I love it there. To me, such like a grandma fruit, because like when you walk in the street, there's always old ladies picking figs and they'll give them to you. And because there are no commercial fig producers, all the figs I buy basically come from like wonderful little old lady. Sometimes I go to their houses and pick the figs. Sometimes they bring the figs to me. Sometimes I trade them for bread. But I really like sort of how they feel like community, right? Like you need people you know to get you the figs. And I think that's maybe my favorite part about them.
Right? And then with that as well, like, what if you don't know anybody who has figs? Now, there's always that debate. If somebody has a fruit tree and the fruit are on the sidewalk in public space.
If it hangs over, it's anyone's game.
Is okay.
Fair game.
Right with that, I was speaking with Chef Myra Maston. She's a pastry chef, and she may have told me how she attained figs for a little while before she got her tree.
Actually used to, I shouldn't admit this, I used to bike her around, and I'd take a little step ladder before I had my own tree. And at like midnight, really late, I would just pick, like not a lot, like a dozen figs. If they were overhanging into an alleyway, I was very, very respectful in that way. But yeah, so it was a lot of effort to carry around a stepladder on a bicycle just to get fresh figs.
Oh my gosh. And then with that as well, there are those who are daring enough, like Armida Cumberbirch, who wanted to make her mom happy. Her mom is 92 years old and came from a small town where there were figs everywhere, and she was craving it. So Armida actually went on Facebook Marketplace and purchased a bunch for her mom as well.
I can see that. No, and we go over to Spain a lot of times in the summertime, and they are just so resplendent, these beautiful fruit. But timing is very important with figs, right? When do you know whether a fig is at its perfect point?
Now, naturally, I feel like we have to go back to Chef Myra because she is the one who was scavenging for the actual figs. Have a listen.
Once they kind of start to droop is when they are like ready, they're ripe. And then eventually they may just like fall off and go splat because they're just like jam inside at that point. Yeah. So you kind of want to pick them just when they start to droop, I think.
Right? And
Watch for the droop. I like that.
But however, don't be like me. I had a fig tree at my place. I was only there for a little while, and I was waiting and waiting and waiting. And the day that I thought it was going to be the day, Gloria, the raccoons got them. So I never actually tried. But here's the thing, though. If you happen to pick it underripe, it will actually not continue to ripe. So there are chefs who actually recommend doing things like pickling them possibly. And that way you're able to kind of get this caper effect as well. Or what you can do is you could reduce them down with red wine and make a paste as well.
Okay, so when the figs are at that perfect droopy ripeness then, what are some ways we can enjoy them?
Yes. So I absolutely love them with like pastry cream. I love it in tarts with chocolate. You really don't have to do much with them as well because they already have that beautiful jamminess and that sugar content. So really you just have to caramelize it. If you're working in a savory context, we kind of talked about this the previous week where you could work with salmon as well. I love the idea of having that with duck confit. Salt is such a friend. Goat cheese, some creamy cheeses like brie, and then lamb holds up incredibly well with that sweetness too.
Oh, I know what you mean about just cutting open a fresh fig and putting a little bit of, I don't know, gorgonzola or a little bit of blue cheese with it as well. Fantastic. And you just reminded me of a dessert at Bodega on Main, and they cure, or they must put the figs in some kind of booze for a while, soak them, but then they cover them in chocolate.
Oh my God.
And so you get these kind of boozy figs in chocolate for their dessert. They are spectacular, spectacularly simple.
Yeah. That's all you have to do.
That. What's your favorite way to enjoy them?
You know what? I actually love the fig leaf itself.
Really?
Yeah. It's
Not just to cover your body parts when
no,
you're
no.
going for a skinny dip or something?
No, not an Adam and Eve moment. But no, I love it because when you actually taste that, there's this tropical flavor to it. It's almost like pandan leaf, coconut, almost like a vanilla style of flavor. Now, the thing is that when you're working with it, it has such a great affinity with things like a pastry cream. So you could dust it on top. You could incorporate it into things like ice cream as well. However, I did learn with talking with some chefs as well that if you are going to add that into a pastry cream, it will curdle. So you actually have to have the heat on for the milk that you're working with and then add it to it as well. If you're working with
add the whole leaf into the milk.
Oh, absolutely.
But you have to watch the temperature.
Yes,
because it can curdle.
If you add it in cold, it will not work. It will curdle, but with a little heat, it works. And then this is the one where I just realized how much I love it. Salmon. We're in salmon season.
Yes.
You can actually take the leaf, clean it off really well, freeze it so it becomes pliable, and tightly wrap salmon with that. And it gives this beautiful sweetness. You could even just pop that onto the barbecue as well.
I love that idea.
Right?
Salmon wrapped or not, I guess it's fig leaf wrapped salmon.
Yes, indeed. Now, here's the thing. Simple is best when it comes to figs. Now, I had the chance to talk with Armida, who I'd mentioned, who got a bunch of figs on Marketplace. Now, she wanted to share this moment of her mother describing how one should actually eat a fig.
My name is Colette. I am 92 years old. When the fig is ripe, purple, black, I eat the skin also. I eat everything, okay, from the tree.
So simple. I love her.
Eat the skin, the insides, it all works. I know exactly that bite, but again, when it's just that perfect ripeness. I love it. I'm feeling like a fig.
Do we go eat some figs?
I think we better.
Okay, we'll find some on the sidewalks.
Good to see you, Shiva.
Bye.
That is Shiva Reddy. She is our guide to the world of food and wine, and she joins us every other Monday around this time. Shiva is a sommelier, also host of Not Your Butter Chicken. That is now streaming on CBC Gem.